Hello, this is Debbie Jansen, and I'm back in my office today to talk about honest information for powerful lives. Now, I've been doing a few videos just here and there, things that I was thinking about for parenting or for life. But today we're going to get real serious about finding out what you need to know so that you can have a powerful life. That's what all of these videos are about. I want you to be successful, and we have to have some information that we can work with and toss around and put in our lives to make things better. I'm currently working on a book, 200 Reasons for Violence in America. And that book will show that no problem is just a one tidbit solution. Every problem has tentacles of things that spread out through all of our lives. And today's lesson is to help you understand how it does that, okay? So what I want to talk about today is a gentleman who did humanistic psychology. His name is Abraham Maslow. If you're not a psychologist, you probably haven't talked about him a lot, but you may have heard about the way he explained life, creativity, success, the whole thing, and what we go through to get there, and it's his hierarchy of needs. This triangle represents what we need to do to climb the ladder and be successful. And too many times we think that success is just money, or maybe it's who you know, or maybe it's fame, or maybe it's what you do in your job. No, success involves everything about us as a human being. And if you aren't tackling those things, you're going to have problems. It's going to be a harder climb. You're going to feel like a lot of people do in America right now. A lot of people feel like there's no way I can make it. There's no way I can be a success. And that's not really true. What is true, they are somewhere down here and they're hoping to be somewhere up here. And hoping doesn't get it. We have to make sure all of our needs are being met along the way so that we can be everything we want to be. When you put it like that, then you start thinking, okay, what's missing? And it may not be that the government needs to give you everything. It may be something else. It may not be that you're not the smartest kid in the class. You may have great ideas, but you don't have the self-esteem you need to push those ideas forward. So it's very important that we learn how to take the steps and what is going to make our life better, but also what is going to make America better. I get calls all the time and I get drawn into conversations when I'm out to eat with friends or family about how desperate everyone feels about America right now. It's those that love America are disappointed because it's going in this direction and we know that's not where it's supposed to go. And those that hate America, they're mad because they don't understand why America needs to go in the other direction. How can we bring this all together? Well, first we have to understand ourselves, and then we have to look outward. Now, this is Maslow's book, The Farthest Reaches of Human Nature, and where he talks about the hierarchy of needs, but he talks about a lot of other things too. And this is how I read a book, okay? Little tabs and little things. Like on one page over here, I put, yes, I'm sorry, I can't get there, but I had a note over here. It says, yes, this is what I need to see right now. Okay, and now I've lost my page. Where do I go back to? Here we are. No, that's not it. Here we are. Okay, let me get my glasses. He was talking about the problem with big problems. And he said, how do we solve them? How do we get in there and find an answer so that our society is better? And he says the first and overarching big problem is to make the good person. Wow. That sounds kind of familiar in that some politicians are saying, hey, this group is bad, or that group is bad, or this isn't happening. And he says the first and overarching big problem is to make the good person. We must have better human beings, or else it is quite possible that we may all be wiped out, and even if not wiped out, certainly live in tension and anxiety as a species. Wow. Yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. We need good people, right? He goes on to say, this good person can equally be called the self-evolving person, the responsible for himself and his own evolution person, the fully illuminated or awakened or awakened man. Sorry, having a problem with that one today. The fully human person, the self-actualizing person. In any case, it is quite clear that no social reforms, no beautiful constitutions, or beautiful programs or laws will be of any consequence unless people are healthy enough, evolved enough, strong enough, good enough to understand them and to want to put them into practice in the right way. Wow. So it doesn't matter what the government comes up with. It doesn't matter what ideas that we have. It doesn't matter if it is a social norm or a social taboo. What matters is we need better people. We need honorable people. We need people who know what the good thing is and how to do it and how to make it play out. So, how does he say to make that happen? The first need that everybody has is breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, bodily functions. This is the physiological in your body. You have to take care of this first. So let me give you an example of that. If you don't have food to eat, how are you going to possibly think of some creative way to help society? You're not. Your one thought is going to be, how do I get some food and how do I get it right now because I'm starving to death? That is all you're going to be concerned on. If you don't have all of these in place, you are going to selfishly, and I say selfishly, but honestly, it's just your human survival mode is what you're going to be in if you don't have this. So in order to survive, you have to have these in place first. So none of these are going to matter. You're not going to do them. You are going to try to survive. As we go into whatever is coming down the pike, we have to be careful that we survive, but that we also think of the next rung and the next rung and the next rung, so that through our survival, we become better people. Okay. The second thing we have to have is security or safety. So we have to be secure of our body, employment, resources, morality, the family, health, and property. What's been going on in America? Are we feeling good about our safety issues? No. We allowed, and you can say what you want. Me, I believe protest is walking down a street and chanting. It is not destroying buildings. It is not blowing up cop cars. It is not killing people. That is destruction. That is not protest. So when you look at what's going on right now, where people are allowed to just run around and kill and beat up and steal and damage, we do not have this in America right now. We don't feel safe. So how can we do the rest of it? We can't. We are in survival mode physically because food is harder to get if you're on a limited income. And a lot of these food, water, sleep, and all of your other bodily functions, they are suffering if you don't have what you need to eat or a place to stay. This is suffering because we don't feel safe. So with these two going on, we now got a double whammy, and a lot of people are angry and frustrated because none of this is in play. Then the third thing is you need friendship, family, and if you're married, as far as I'm concerned, sexual intimacy. So friendship and family. Has there been an attack on that? Wow, big time. Big time. You lose friends like crazy over any different idea that you might have. You're losing family because of all the health issues, all the other problems, and because of this, and because society wants to teach you that family isn't important. What have we got going on right now in the school systems? Hey, don't believe your parents. Don't talk to your parents. We're going to hide this from your parents. Break up the family. Get the family out of there. And my pet peeve, and there will be some videos on this pet peeve, the internet, social media, all of that has taken away from what is described in this book, the value of touching. We have billions of sensors, nerve endings on our skin. Just in one hand, there's millions of nerve endings. That's why you can rub across your desk and feel the tiniest little inclination in your fingers, because we have all of these sensors, and we are built to where those sensors need to be stroked. So we need a hug. We need someone to come up and say, hey, I love you. Even just this is important. And we can receive nonverbal with smiles. Well, what are our kids doing right now? They're going on social media where their only friend is a hooded nobody behind another computer that you never really see their face. You never really have a physical contact with them. I'm a hugger. I went to a church where after church, all right, everybody, let those in the church know that you love them. And you went up and you hugged them. And, usually with the guys, you did the Bert hug where you did like this and you patted them, It was never anything sexual in any way. It was just, hey, let me let you know by holding your hand or putting my arm around you that I love you, that I care about you, that I hope your life is doing well. Kids need this more than ever. I tell parents, if you don't hug your child every day, your child's going to have some problems down the road. You need to touch them. You need to be there for them. In fact, I have to take the time to tell you this. I'm sorry, this is going to be a long one. But it was just after World War II, I believe. I don't think this is the example. Hold on, let me check where I've got this. No, it was during the 19th century. Okay, I got it right here. More than half of the infants in their first year of life regularly died from a disease called marasmus, a a Greek word meaning wasting away. The disease was also known as infantile atrophy or debility. Wow. As late as the second decade of the 20th century, the death rate for infants under 1 year of age in various foundling institutions throughout the United States was nearly 100%. So these kids would come into an orphanage, and what happened? Before, if they were babies, before their first year, they died. Let's see, Dr. Henry Wright Chapin discovered that a person after World War I, he went overseas and maybe it was after World War II. Anyway, I'll tell you about this in a later video. But he went overseas to a home for children who had the same results. All the babies were dying. They had beds lined up, and children were brought in, and they laid in those beds, but they were picked up to be fed or to diapered and then put right back down. And they were all dying. And all of a sudden, they started living. And the director of that orphanage put out a paper that they started living, and the Dr. Dwight from the United States went over to see why. And he was talking to him. He says, "Come here, I'll tell you why." Walked him out into this room where there were 100 beds. Because, after a war, there's always orphans and there's always problems. And babies were laughing and talking and living. And he said they're living because of, and he pointed to her, old Anna. And Dr. Dwight said, "Old Anna?" He said, "Yeah. She came in here as a wash lady to scrub the floors. And she saw these babies laying in the bed, and she took a big sheet and she would wrap one baby here and one baby here and one on her back. And as she leaned over and she mopped the floor, she sang to them. She talked to them. She patted them. She reached back and patted the one on the back. She was constantly having that physical touch. And what they discovered is when those babies' nerve endings were stroked and touched, they began to live. Wow. Nothing else had changed in their lives. They had good food the whole time. The ones that died had food. The ones that lived that had food. The ones that died had a bed. The ones that lived had a bed. The only thing that changed was Anna touching them. So now it was put in place in America. I hope it hasn't gone out of style. But if your child was in an orphanage or in a daycare, they had to be held for a certain amount of time during the day. Parents, take that as a note. Hold your kids. Hold them, hug them, and don't quit just because they're walking around. Go over and hold them and hug them. The first thing I do when my grandbabies come see me is I say, "Come here, come here, come here." And I hold them tight and I kiss them and I hug them because they need that. And they need it from mom and dad too. So, sorry about getting onto that, but you've got to have your physical, you've got to have safety, and you need friendship, family, sexual intimacy. And only when these three are in place, because these are the easiest ones not to have, this one comes up. Then with these in place, you have the strength to build your self-esteem, to build confidence, to build achievement and respect of others and respect by others. You have to have this before you can get here. So you get the safety ones in place. Then you get this in place. And as we're thinking about America and we're teaching about what to do to help America, this is the order we need to go in. If America as a whole does not have this, or this, we're never going to get this. People that are trying right now, that are scared and are saying, oh, let's open the schools to this and let's agree to everything that the kids are doing and let's do this for gun safety. It's not going to happen until you get these three done. And then you have to have this. And someone with a self-esteem, they're probably not going to pick up a gun and go kill somebody because they're going to be too busy up here. So we got to get this one right. And then after you get this and you have respect of others and respect by others, do you know, I worked for a social group for several years, and everybody that came in with a problem complained, nobody respects me. But they didn't know how to respect other people. And other people aren't going to respect you until you respect them. That's the way it works. Once you have this in place, then you start accepting the facts. Here's where I get crazy. There are so many people right now who won't accept facts. We know for certain this is true. Oh, no, it's not. It's not, because I don't want to believe that. Well, just because you don't want to believe it doesn't mean it's not true. You're somewhere down here still. You're not making the trip very well. When you get all of these in place and you understand self-esteem and achievement, then you'll understand that you have to accept the facts. Then we go to problem solving. Wow, we got a good person now who can problem solve, who can be spontaneous, who can have spontaneity, who can be creative. You can't be creative unless you know how to achieve and respect others and you have confidence and self-esteem. All of this works into making you a creative person and coming up with ideas that will really work. And then morality. Morality's the top. When you are a good person of honor, when you are moral, you are going to increase society's chance to be better, and you are going to come up with ideas that will lift up people who are stuck down here. It will lift them up to here. But unless you have made this climb, you can't help others get there. You can't stand down here and push others up. You got to make the climb yourself. So I hope this little talk has helped you, because here's the problem. In 200 Reasons for Violence in America, we do need good people, because you cannot legislate goodness. It's not going to come from the government. It's going to come from more people deciding to make the climb and become better people. And I am going to do my best to help you get there. I hope that you will subscribe and check out my other videos. I hope that you will watch for new books that are coming out. Before I leave this world, I have 57 books that I have notes on. So I'm going to cover every area of your life, and we're going to work together to make a better society and to make us personally better people. I'm working on a little book that's 58 Ways to Be an Honorable Person, to achieve honor. Discipline Exposed should be updated and coming out soon. I have a podcast I would love for you to listen to. I'm on Facebook and most of the social media. And my latest book, Praying for America and the Army of God, leads you through ways you can pray for different segments of our society. Oh my, do we need that now? We need to also work, but prayer will change everything. My book is on my website, debbiejansen.com, along with other books, but also it's on Amazon. So I hope you'll check the other things out and join me again as we figure out not only how America can change, but how you can climb the ladder to personal success. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.